it's weird that Jane Smith was Jason's dentist?
I think that's crazy. Michael, what do you think?
Well, I think it's really insane. Well, because, Jane Smith said she ran away and she didn't know where she was going. But she didn't know where she was going. She hadn't finished her last, 15 homework assignments. It was nuts. But she did it. But Jane Smith did it on purpose.
So what you're trying to say is Jane Smith was Mrs. Giselle's
Yes.
students, and she moved, and she gave Mrs. Giselle a letter that said.
That letter that said, "Rub a monkey, tell me with your head." Ha ha ha.
And then when she was on the phone, she said that and Jason overheard her.
But then he saw a diploma hanging on the wall that said, before she was married to Mr. Jason.
The diploma said she was Mrs. Jane Smith, but she had a different last name because she had already gotten married.
Dr. Payne, that was weird. That's weird.
Yeah.
That's just this story is out of order.
This story is so weird because everybody's connected. Lewis was talking about his mean teacher, and Mrs. Giselle was the mean teacher. There was a letter for Jane Smith, and Jane Smith is Jason's doctor. Just everything is connected in this story. But at the end, it's just gonna
Play out.
yeah.
I wonder.
I thought, because when we found that out, that was so weird. I mean, because no one knew, where she went or who she was or what she looked like or anything. So when Jason comes into school the next day, he's gonna have to tell everyone, and they're all gonna be crazy. Now she's your dentist, because I would have never guessed that.
Neither would I.
One of the weird things I'm thinking is all their teachers have had weird, majestic, magical stuff. They've all had something. Mr. Gorf had stuck-up voices to his nose.
Miss Giselle.
Miss Giselle she's just really mean and weird.
But she's
Mrs. Giselle is actually really nice. The reason she was mean to Lewis is because Lewis was so mean to her.
Yeah, she's only mean to the kids when she gets on her nerves, or they're being bad or stuff like that. But otherwise, she's really nice. When they tried to touch her blue notebook, she got really, really mad. So she's kind of two-faced. Okay.
I wonder since all the teachers have had magical powers, once they get rid of Mrs. Giselle, who do you think is going to come? What magical powers is she going to have, or he? Do you think it's going to be mind reading, voice sucking, or something else that's weird?
I don't think they're gonna get rid of Mrs. Giselle because she's really nice. But back to the subject of our question. What was it? Oh yeah. Yeah, I think it is kind of crazy that that Jason's dentist was Jane Smith. And another thing that I think is crazy is that when she was on the phone, some lady was calling her saying that the dentist pulled the wrong tooth. And I think that is kind of awkward, because how could a dentist pull the wrong tooth?
And that probably means she's not good at her job.
She's not good at her job, yeah. She was really rude about that. She yelled, since the woman on the other end of the phone wouldn't pay her bill because the wrong tooth got pulled, Jane, Mrs. Payne, who's Jane Smith, was she got really mean, and she was like, well, rub a monkey's tummy, I don't care, and stuff like that. But on the letter that Jane Smith gave Mrs. Giselle before she moved, it said, rub a monkey's tummy because I don't care about you, or something like that. Yeah.